Hi, it's Celeste, your canary in the coal mine. And that's the name of my website too, yourcanaryinthecoalmine.com, where you can find more of these videos if you like this. It's in the tab under Video Archive. So anyway, today I wanted to talk to you more about using your glucose meter. I recorded another video just recently that was about how to use the glucose meter, and I suggested that it would be an inexpensive way to monitor yourself for your fasting blood sugar level if every morning when you got up you did a little glucose test. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit more about another way that I use the glucose meter. So there's a lot of confusion about what raises your blood sugar and what doesn't. I mean, we know that if you eat a high dose of sugar, it's going to raise your blood sugar, and you're probably going to crash an hour or two later because your blood sugar will shoot up, and then the insulin will kick in and drive it down, and that's when you crash, is when it actually goes too low. So, but here's what I'm going to suggest is that you use a blood glucose meter to see how your own body is reacting to different foods. Like I hear people say, oh, I don't want to eat fruit because fruit's got sugar in it. But the truth is fruit has a lot of good phytochemicals in it and vitamins and minerals. And so it's not something to exclude from your diet. So, and then there's other things that we think are not harmful at all that don't elevate our blood sugar that do. So what I have done in the past is like I've created a meal, for example, like a big salad, and it has some fruit in it, and it has some nuts in it, and it has greens in it, and other kinds of veggies like carrots maybe, or celery, or any mixture of things. And it might even have a little bit of salmon in it, an ounce or two. And then what I would do would be, I'd look at the clock when I was starting to, well, I could take my blood glucose level right before I was going to start eating, so that I know what it is. And then I could start eating, checking the time on the clock so I know when it is. And if you want to get really fancy, you can watch your blood sugar go up and down by checking it at the half-hour mark, checking it at the hour. From the time you start eating, check it a half hour later, an hour later, hour and a half later, 2 hours later. What should happen is that your blood sugar should go up a little bit and then go down a little bit, and then by the 2 hour mark it should pretty much be back to where it was before you started eating. And it shouldn't shoot skyrocket high. It should just kind of go up a little bit and go down a little bit and then come back up to the baseline. So that's a way you can figure out if the particular thing you're eating is having that reaction in your body. A lot of times when we eat a mixed meal of vegetables and fruits and maybe some protein in there, the blood sugar will stay fairly good the whole time. It'll only go up a little bit and go down a little bit and then off, and then level out. But if we eat something that's really, really high in starchy carbohydrates, like a big plate of pasta, or like a Cinnabon, or some pastry or something like that, you might watch your blood sugar shoot way high and then come way down. So what I'm saying is, instead of just following what someone is telling you, check yourself, because we're all individuals. We're not really sure how our own body is reacting to things. When you hear these pronouncements, don't eat beans, don't do this, don't do that, that's like generic information. And we're not generic human beings. We don't wear generic sized shoes. We don't drive generic cars. We have different reasons why we pick different cars. We have different reasons why we pick different clothes. We have different feet sizes why we pick different size shoes. So this is a way to customize things a little bit for yourself. Get yourself your own information about what the effect of what you're eating is on your blood glucose level, because the goal would be to keep your blood glucose level as steady as possible. And that's why slow release things, like foods like I'm trying to think of, well, like beans, for example, are good because it takes a while for the body to digest them. They don't just shoot right up like a 20-ounce soda would, that just has sugar and flavorings in it. And so your body gets the nutrition from the food, but it's spaced out over a longer period of time, so there's not this big rocket effect on your blood sugar. So that's what I wanted to tell you about today, was why you might want to use the blood sugar, the blood glucose meter, even more than the other video that I recorded that told you how to use it. Because that way you can actually figure out what are foods that are good for you and what are foods that aren't good for you. So thanks a lot, and as usual, I want you to get well and stay well.